I'm Sean from Offload Rugby Media.
I'm Simeon from the TikTok Ref.
Guys, I'm Maori, also known as Blissful Rugby HQ.
And you're listening to the Rugby Connection podcast.
For the fans, by fans.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Rugby Connection podcast. This is our first full international window episode. Chaps, how are we doing?
Very good, Simeon, thank you.
I'm very good as well. I heard you both had a lot of great fun in the games that we will discuss shortly, but glad to see everyone's now back into a rugby game. So
Nice. Brilliant.
Yeah, it was great.
So lads, back into the international window. Let's start it. South Africa versus Georgia. Murray?
yeah, it was a good game. Obviously the big question was how much game rust has South Africa got, because I think Sky Sports said it was 609 days since the Rugby World Cup final, which is insane when you think about it. But you know what? They were a bit jittery at the start, a lot of giving away penalties. It was fully expected, but they got the job done. 40 points to 9. Very convincing win. Georgia did do well in the first half, I might add. They were in control for the most part, but South Africa brought on fresh legs. The Yanchis brothers, I felt, make a big difference. Malcolm Marks, definitely fighting for that hooker position against Mbadombe. They both scored, but yeah, South Africa looked very comfortable at the end of the day. So, but fair play to Georgia. Sean, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I think it was encouraging for Georgia. Like up until 35 minutes, it was 9-5 to Georgia. Georgia won the lead, which was great. But obviously in the second half, Georgia didn't score at halftime. It was 19-9, and obviously they didn't score in the second half. But look, I think that's encouraging for Georgia. And look, South Africa, I thought in the first half, South Africa, their width play was very good. They really stretched the Georgia defence. But other than that, from just seeing the highlights, I think that's encouraging for Georgia. Like obviously Georgia have only been playing in the Rugby Europe Championship, which got back recently. Probably at a similar level in terms of South Africa, in terms of preparation. Like, so I'd say, fair play Georgia.
No, I completely agree. It's what we see with Tier 2 nations, isn't it? We'll probably talk about it a bit more tonight. It's the end fitness, and Georgia are a big forwards, big team, so they were always going to do well in that first half and break in the second half against South Africa.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, fair play though. Fassi, the South African winger, made his debut against Georgia, scored in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Great debut. What a way to start. Unreal.
Someone else did that this week.
Quite a few players done that this week in the debut.
Actually, that's true. That's been kind of a theme, hasn't it?
Colbus Reinach as well, the former Northampton Saints player who's now at Montpellier. He's definitely pushing Faf de Klerk for that starting number 9 role, because he and Andre Pollard just gel so well together. Like they're club teammates as well, so you can definitely see that chemistry from the word go.
But yeah, it's good to see. And now, Murray, that top you got on, Maori All Blacks.
Maori All Blacks.
How did they fend this week?
They did really well. So it was the first time in, I think, about 30, 40 years that the Maori All Blacks and the All Blacks played at the same stadium on the same day. So a lot of big hype. Maori All Blacks played Samoa. They got 35. They won 35-12. 21, sorry. My bad. 35-21. Very tight contested game, as expected. There was no score until the first 20 minutes, where Maori captain Ash Dixon powered over, which tells you a lot because he's a hooker. So, yeah, and he's not one of those big sprinting hookers either. He's like an old school kind of hooker. Sean Wainui, who I mentioned a few weeks ago, that scored 5 tries in the Super Rugby round, he was also on the scoreboard, so great to see him continuing his form. Jonah Lowe, the other Maori winger, got 2 tries, so happy to see him on the scoreboard. And my boy, Ettore Black, controlling the game at 10, but it's a little bit sad because he is moving overseas. I don't know if it's to Europe or Japan, so it's pretty much his last game as a Maori All Blacks. But what a way to go out, 35-21 win for the Maoris. Speaking of All Blacks, same stadium, same day, All Blacks versus Tonga. 102-0. Absolute heart. I get there's so much argument to it, and I'll get Sean's opinion on it as well. But Tonga want the big Tier 1 tests with New Zealand and all that. as does Fiji, as does Samoa. Fiji will be playing New Zealand, I think it's next week. That'll be a very exciting game, but we'll go into that later on. Tonga just don't have the players now. And the big issue is, after Bill Beaumont got re-elected as World Rugby president, he said you could change your allegiance to international rugby to the country of your birth. Hence why Malakai Fekitoa was playing for the Tongan Sevens. But the rule's not instigated yet. So Fekitoa, Charles Piutau, and Matanonu, I think, wants to play for Tonga as well. They're all sitting at home and they're not getting to play because the rule's not came into fruition yet.
Give it time.
Yeah, definitely.
Give it time, and Tonga could be a very dangerous side. I mean, you just mentioned 3 big names there. Those backs. I mean, Tonga already had good. And I know there was apparently a lot of Tongan debuts and all of this as well. And it doesn't benefit either team.
No.
102 points. It's a training session for the All Blacks, and it's basically holding tackle pads for Tonga. It wasn't even that. They didn't even touch them, did they? I mean, I believe it was Will Jordan scored 5 tries that game.
Yeah. Hat-trick in the second half, 2 in the first. Actually, the first half was more insane. Brad Weber, David Papali'i, Dalton Papali'i, sorry, and Will Jordan all scored 2 tries each in the first half, and Damien McKenzie scored a try in the first 2 minutes.
I saw that. It's the whole question. I mean, Damien McKenzie played class, didn't he? So,
yeah.
I think everyone there played class because there wasn't anywhere to not play. Sean,
I'll give credit. Sorry, before Sean has his view, because obviously we all like hearing Sean's opinion. We're all on the same team here. But fair play in New Zealand. If they did put out a B team or a C team, people go, "Oh, that's disrespectful against Tonga." Take them seriously. They definitely took them seriously. That was pretty much a full first team, and then the result kind of tarnished that. But yeah, Sean, what did you think of the whole bloodshed as it was deemed on Rugby Pass?
Yeah, most of my issues, just like you brought up there, Murray, were kind of more from off the pitch rather than actually on the pitch. But credit to New Zealand, credit where credit is due. They played what was in front of them. It wasn't their fault that Tonga were so weak. Can't take anything away from them. But 4 tries inside the first 8.5 minutes, I think it was. That's nasty. That's a bonus point win already. After 10 minutes,
it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah, but Tonga, they had 13 debutants. And apparently they had to go and get amateur players who were playing in New Zealand at the time because certain players were stuck in quarantine or whatever. They just had unavailability or whatever of some of their regulars, which is not ideal for any amateur player to play their first cap, without getting to train with their club, And obviously there was a mess between quarantine, the player, Tonga, they get no revenue in from this game at all. All the revenue stays with the All Blacks through all the ticket sales and everything. There's no revenue sharing. And apparently a lot of the players had to pay for their own quarantine, their own 2-week quarantine or 10-day quarantine, whatever it was, which is just, to play for their country, they have to pay out of pocket. They're not getting anything. They're getting probably similar enough to minimum wage. They're getting what the All Blacks would get in a day they were getting in a year, so there's definitely a funding disparity there between tier 2 and tier 1 nations, and it has to be fixed. Either tier 1 nations have to play more often in tier 2 nations, which credit to Scotland, they were going over to Romania, and Ireland were looking to go to Fiji for the first time in a long time, which shouldn't have had to wait long, but yeah, funding has to change.
Speaking on that, Sean, just because you said that a lot of the Tongan players had to pay for their own quarantine, I remember before the World Cup in Japan, Tongan players had to pay for their own travel, and I'm like, why? They're professional athletes representing your national team at the biggest tournament that sport has to offer. Why are they having to pay?
Yeah,
and there was player they had, I think it was a coach at the time, got asked, "Oh, where's your top players?" And I think they rattled off some of the names. It's quite simple. They didn't want to be here, which is quite discouraging as well. Why would and I'm guessing you would be the same. If you got the chance to play for your country, even just once,
you
would jump. You'd jump at the chance, and you'd wear that jersey with pride and all that. But I don't know what's going on with the Tongan players. I hope that this rule that we mentioned comes into fruition soon. And Malachi Fakatawa, Charles Piutau. This is a weird one. Charles Piutau's brother Siali plays for Tonga, so surely he should just get to slide right in. But Maanonu is a bit of a weird one. I don't think he should get to play because he's got 100 caps for New Zealand and won 2 World Cups. But I'm not going to say no.
I think for Tonga's sake, let him play. Let him play just for Tonga's sake.
Apparently the Vanapolas wanted to go back as well. Go for it. I don't care. Bye. See you later.
Yeah, just one more thing on the funding with Tonga. You know, Murray, you were asking there why do the players have to pay for their stuff and why aren't they hardly getting paid anything? And obviously the union is just broke. The Tongan Rugby Union can't afford to pay them anything. There was a good documentary, Dan Leo, the former Samoan, he was back rower. In 2015, he nearly organised a strike before they played England. He made a documentary, came out last year, I think it was. Great documentary on all the kind of downsides of. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. Remember the name of it right now, but great documentary. And they showed a clip of walking into the Tongan Rugby Union headquarters, and it's literally just like a normal house. It's very bare, like nothing in it. It's horrible. Yeah,
it's not.
That's it.
Hopefully that gets fixed soon. Anyway, moving on. Ireland versus Japan.
Close game. Sean, you were there. How was it? Half time was very close and final score also very close. Stressful times?
It was very stressful. That first half was nervy, to say the least. It was a great game, though. And all credit to Japan. I think Ireland were a little bit, probably a little bit poor, to be honest, in the first half, especially kind of defensively, kind of slipped off a few unnecessary tackles. But we couldn't kind of keep up with Japan's pace. Their pace and their offloading was sublime. They're a joy to watch, Japan. And obviously, it was a bit of a masterclass from Tamura at 10. He was superb. He was excellent. He looked like one of the best 10s in the world there the other day. But no, it was a great game. And I think, I started to question Peter O'Mahony's whether he's Irish or whether he's Fijian with that offload he pulled out for that, was it second Ireland try in the first half? Yeah, but no, that was class. And a few standout performers. Ireland, obviously, Josh van der Fleer got man of the match. Carberry, I thought, played pretty well for his first time playing for Ireland since the World Cup. Keenan, Kelleher and Doris, a few other great players. But yeah, all around, great game. Really enjoyed it.
I have a question about something. I've heard, I don't rate him at the moment. James Ryan, I heard he was a pretty poor captain on the day.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about his decisions now. I didn't notice him too much on the pitch in terms of ball carrying and making tackles. So I don't know where his form is at. I don't know. Maybe it's his head isn't in it. Maybe his confidence is low after not getting picked for the Lions in the first place, and then obviously not getting called up. So yeah, James Ryan's an interesting one. He's definitely probably out of form at the minute, I think.
Not the best time to be out of form, is it? Especially if another player goes down on the Lions tour and Johnny Gray's just basically just on standby now. If James Ryan's out of whack and out of touch.
I mean, but I know it's not good, and I don't know. He's not been in form for ages, but people keep rating him. It just annoys me. But how was it to be back at the Aviva?
It was so good. It was great. It was a great feeling. The atmosphere was a little bit weird because obviously there's only 3,000 people of a capacity of 51,000. So yeah, it was a bit low. It was good though. The atmosphere, it wasn't dead. It was just kind of like quieter, There wasn't as kind of much bite from the crowd, if you get me. But it was great to be there. Kind of felt like a normal game, obviously, except for the social distancing and the masks. But food trucks were open, which was nice. You kind of walk around the stadium and. Yeah, the seats were great. The tickets were only €44 and you're down the premium level, which was class. Never really get to do it on the sideline so. It was great to be back. Absolutely brilliant feeling. And Simeon, I'm sure you felt the same with Wales, which would probably touch.
Yeah,
Wales, Canada.
I've just got a quick question for Sean before we go into Wales, Canada. You just said 3,000. We had 16,500. I don't know if that's because it was the Lions or Scotland.
We had 8. We had 8,000.
What is going on? You didn't even sell out, apparently. I read this.
No, we didn't sell out.
You also didn't have
tickets the day before.
Did you have beer?
We'll go. You finish your Ireland, then I'm going to talk about.
No, that was to Sean as well. Did you sell alcohol?
No, there was no alcohol on sale, just food. So
Well, it gets worse in the Principality. No alcohol, no food. You got a bottle of water, and that was it.
So there you go. COVID stadiums, Murrayfield is the best.
Yeah. Well, in fairness, look, the Irish government they're very lax, let's say, and very slow in terms of reopening. Against USA, we're only going to have 6,000. So like
Wales is Dithering Drakeford is just the same. He's so slow at opening everything. How's Nicola doing?
Oh, good. We're getting there very slowly but surely. Not slowly, but quicker than used by the sounds of it. But
guys, we have to say one thing. At least we don't have bother.
Oh yeah.
Oh. we've gone political. Oh no.
We've gone political. Right. Wales, Canada.
Anyway, Wales, Canada. Simeon, how was your first experience? It was a big special game for you because you lived in Canada for a bit of your life.
Yes, well, so we went I had my referee game cancelled on Saturday, so I just went on and booked tickets last minute. So lived in Canada for 8 years of my life. So born in Wales, then moved straight off to Canada, lived there for 8 years, moved back to Wales. Sister is Canadian born, and then parents are both English. We don't talk about them. But for me, my sister, it was great fun. She was in a Canadian kit. I was in my Wales kit, and it was lovely because whoever scored, we could cheer. We're like, yay, someone scored. It was Wales, Canada. It was great. But being back in the Principality, I was sat just behind the post, as many of you saw on telly, because I've had like hundreds of messages. And Sean, I saw you as well. We've seen you as well. Don't worry.
I was on the TV, yeah.
Yeah. After the Stockdale try, wasn't it?
Yeah, my one moment of fame. I'll take that.
We love that. We love to see it. The Rugby Connection podcast being broadcast live on Channel 4 and BBC Two.
And here's me that wasn't on Sky Sports at all, but that's
fine. But it was great to be back. Honestly, I think I had the best seat in the stand. We had a bunch of just like 20-year-olds sat behind us who were wetly got pissed before the game and was singing the whole game. So we were just singing along. Literally, I lost my voice a bit after that game. We were just singing along the whole thing, Welsh hymns, everything you love to hear. It was fantastic. But actually, about Wales, Canada itself, it was in a weird place. And everyone who's saying, it was Canada, of course Wales were going to win. Wales put 68 points on Canada, which is no small margin, and that was by far Wales' B team. Considering in the week you lost Josh Navibi and Adam Beard as well, you were playing a Wales B team where you had, some standouts. Did you guys see Tom Rogers? What a player.
Yeah.
Never heard about him until this. He kept on the radar. Absolutely standing. Ben Carter, man of the match. You got players who kind of been in and around, like Will Rowland stood up, Time Bash, and 2 tries on debut. Ben Thomas came on, and I have to talk about him. How good was Callum Sheedy, guys?
Great replacement for Dan Biggar, especially obviously because Dan's away on Lions duty. And I did say it that Callum Sheedy will be clambering into this 10 jersey and like licking his lips at these opportunities while Dan Biggar is away. And boy, did he live up to that. There was a sad note though. After I feel like I kind of cursed it because I think right before kickoff I did a drop bench start video and it was Liam Williams, Ewan Lloyd and Lee Halfpenny. I was up starting Lee Halfpenny. Gets his 100th cap on Saturday against Canada, and 6 minutes in, his knee gives out. Absolutely heartbreaking. Hopefully, we say this about every player, but it's not cliche. We do hope he has a speedy recovery because he is a great player when he's fully fit.
And he's a great man. He's just everyone loves Halfpenny.
Yeah.
Can't not love Halfpenny.
I was going to ask you, so when we were in the Aviva, we had to wear a mask basically the whole time. You could only take them off when you're eating. What was it like in the Millennium? Was it the same thing? Or?
We could take, when we were sat in our seats, you could take the mask off.
Oh, that's interesting. Probably more normal.
Which was good. Then it was probably just for the Welsh singing, which was fun. It was great. I could sing both national anthems and I knew them both off by heart. So it was great for me. But I want to quickly touch on Canada.
Okay.
Canada's team, I know they got thrashed, but there were loads of debuts for Canada. There were absolutely tons. And I thought Canada played well. They just gave too many penalties away. It was just penalty, especially that first half. But I'm awful with the names, but the Canadian number 11 who scored in the first couple minutes was everywhere. He nearly scored a second try, and he was just tackling everything. He was getting back. He was absolutely class. I thought when Canada scored in that first minute, it was right by where I was sat. I was like, oh God, Canada have changed. Sadly, they didn't, because I was hoping for a close game, really, but they played a very good game to Canada when they wanted to. The second try was good. When they thought about things and did things quickly, they played well. But I think for Wales, going into Argentina in the next 2 weeks, well, you saw Argentina only a slim win against Romania, 24-17. And I think Wales, after that B team thrashed Canada, I think they'll be feeling quietly confident about the next 2 games.
I feel like Argentina's one of those awkward countries, because like they get a narrow margin win against Romania, like you just mentioned, Simeon, but they beat the All Blacks. Do you know what I mean? Like if they go full go at it, which I fully expect they will do against Wales, I wouldn't be surprised if Argentina beat yous or even beat yous comfortably. Ooh. I do expect Wales to win. Like, don't get me wrong, I do expect Wales to win both games and get the series very comfortably, but I wouldn't be surprised if Argentina just rock up next week with Juan M off, Nicolas Sanchez.
Nicolas Sanchez started this week, though.
Did he?
Yeah. One thing, can I actually just say on the Argentina-Romania game, like fair play for Romania, because that was a fairly stacked Argentina team. It was pretty much their first team. Like
I noticed that it was, so Murray, it was their first team.
Oh, was it? Oh, well,
yeah.
You had
then Wales are winning it. Don't matter.
Yeah.
You have the big names like Montoya, Lavanini, Cubelli, Sanchez, Imhoff, Baroni, Cordero, Buffelli. Like basically, pretty much their first team. Like fair play Romania. Like what a scout that is.
I know we've been talking about tier 2 nations not performing, but fair play to the European tier 2 nations. Romania and Georgia put out good shows this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think maybe then, do you think, now that you've told me that Argentina basically went full go at Romania and it just worked, do you think they might have underestimated Romania in a way? Because that does happen sometimes. You do get a big team that come across like, yeah, easy win, and then the smaller team.
There's underestimating, and then there's just if this was like a World Cup, getting a losing bonus point against a tier 1 nation, isn't there? There's that, and then there's that, isn't it? It's like Wales didn't underestimate Canada, except Thomas Williams, who thought he was God and really annoyed me all game. He honestly, he lost us the ball loads of times thinking, oh, I can do it out the back. Kieran Hardy came on and knocked in Wales there. Sorry, love Kieran Hardy. But I think, I think England did it as well. I think England, but I give you a point. England, USA, what do you think of that one?
First of all, I am very happy that Joe Thokinasinger is back on the wing for England, and well done to Harry Randall and Marcus Smith for getting their England debuts and scoring on England debuts. That's really the only positives I got from the game on the England side.
I didn't think Marcus Smith played that well.
Didn't think he played that well, but still played well enough that I'd still pick him over George Ford. Sean?
I agree, but I just thought, I think it was his debut, he was probably nervous, but I was just expecting more.
Maybe. Sean, what did you think of the England-USA game today?
So I actually didn't get to see it live, and I actually didn't have time to see the highlights. But the one thing that I actually did, I just saw quickly who scored. And the one MLR-related thing I'll have to say today is that Hanko Hermesais, he's the blindside flanker for USA. He scored a try. He plays for Rugby United New York. So that's all I have to say. That that's just nice for me.
on that, and probably because Ford, USA carried well. They gained meters on carries. They just went through. I think having a player like not Ben Teo, what's his name?
Mikey Teo
on the wing. I just think it worked well. That Carty, who I believe is related to Jack Carty, Ireland 10, Connaught 10. But I thought they don't have McGinty, and he was a solid 10. I just think USA, 4 tries against England, and everyone's like, aren't England's B team. Wales put their B team out. Ireland put their B team out. They both won. England just crumbled.
Yeah, seems like it.
Yeah. Fun fact about the USA team before we proper go into the game a little bit more. David Ainutu, the prop, and Joe Taffetti, the hooker, follow me on Instagram, or did follow me on Instagram briefly. I don't know why it came up ages ago, and I clicked on their page, and like David Ainutu especially is at Toulouse. Like he plays with Antoine Dupont and Roman and Tamac every week.
Yeah.
Like, why are you following me?
Do you know who just followed me on Instagram? Alex Cuthbert.
Oh, nice.
No way.
Yeah, no, Alex Cuthbert follows me on Instagram.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, fair play to USA. I think England definitely underestimated USA, which obviously does not help. You're never meant to underestimate any team, doesn't matter who it is.
What happened when Scotland underestimated the USA, Murray?
Why'd you bring up bad games, man? Come on. Yeah, we got beat. Right, to be fair, looking back at it, rightfully so. We got cocky. We tried things that just wasn't anything Scotland did at that time regularly. And yeah, it didn't work. But it's the same with England here. Like, yeah, Ollie Lawrence and Joe Thoggan and all that scored some great tries, but they weren't playing the way Eddie Jones wanted them to, would want a team to play.
England have no attack. They scored tries through moments of individual brilliance or pick and goes. England did not, I maybe won, but to my knowledge, England did not score a set piece try or a planned try.
No.
And this has been the issue of England. And, sorry, on a referee perspective, their penalty count, still without Maro Itoje, is ridiculous.
Fair enough. Well, speaking of Maro Itoje, British and Irish Lions versus the Sigma Lions. I keep calling them the Emirates Lions. Turns out they've got a new sponsor. They're one of those teams. There we go. Great result.
Sure.
What did we think? Yeah, Sean. We'll go with you, Sean, first. What did you think of the British and Irish Lions game?
I think the Lions, they seem to carry well, the British and Irish Lions, I should say. The B&I Lions seem to carry well, seem to win the contact. I think the Sigma Lions, their defence kind of was a bit weak at times, especially, when you're seeing Ali Price nearly walk in that try. Now, in fairness, it was a nice play by the British and Irish Lions, but, it was basically a walk-in for Price. But yeah, things are coming together for the Lions that we know, so which is good. Watson, probably himself and Adams, obviously both deserving of the best players in the pitch. And 4 tries, which is crazy. But yeah, no, that's really all I have to say. The Lions seem to be clicking well, and yeah.
Can I just say before Simeon goes on to a big Josh Adams fanboy?
How did you guess? What was Josh Adams?
How good was it to see Finn Russell finally get that international cross kick payoff? He's been trying it all 6 Nations with 2 hands. He tried it right from the start with Lewis Rees-Zammit. Switches things up in the second half. Josh Adams, bang, done. Unreal. Fair play, Josh Adams getting 4 tries. I mean, it's quite common on a Lions tour. Let's be honest. There is always one player that gets a stupid amount of tries in one of the warm up games. Hamish Watson, absolute amazing player. That number 7 jersey is his. As much as I like Josh Navidi and not Justin Turbic, he's away home. Jack Conan and Tom Curry, all that. No, that number 7 jersey is Hamish Watson's. After that performance, you could see it in him that missing that Japan game hurt him in a way, and he wanted to prove why he is a British and Irish Lion. And I mean, 16 tackles, 16 made. He did not miss a single hit, which is continuing his great international form because he didn't miss a single tackle in the 6 Nations. Ali Price scoring a cheeky try. Josh Adams obviously stealing the show. I actually liked the link-up of Gloucester teammates, Chris Harris and Lewis Rees-Zammit. That was a beautiful first try.
They worked, and not just then, the whole game, they knew what each other were doing. Yeah. Wales always have good wings, and between Welsh wings, that was 5 tries. I think Zamet did what he needed to do. He needed to get a try. You needed to do Zamet. But every team, and it's happened in the Six Nations, like against England, they were like, every team's like, we need to man mark Zamet. We need to man mark Zamet. And they forget Adams is probably the better player.
Flipping on Josh Adams,
Josh Adams scores 4 tries. If I say there's 3 positions which are pretty set on in the now coming up for the actual test game.
Yep.
Watson at 7.
Yep.
Hogg 15. I thought Hogg played that tackle back, the track back.
So beautiful.
What attack. And he was good in attack. I thought Hogg played a very good general high ball standard fullback game. Not so much a Hogg game, but like more Liam Williams-esque because he knows Gatlin wants that. No,
you watch your mouth. You watch what you're saying.
But Hogg at 15, and I think, and everyone's saying anyone could have scored those tries. Adams scored. No, they couldn't have. Adams was sidestepping. He was doing the right thing. He was quick enough, and he made 1 out of 1 tackle, so no defensive issues from Adams that game.
That doesn't count.
I know. But he was making carries as well. Like, he scored 4 tries, but he was still making sprints, making carries. He has to start. He can play either wing. It's now between Watson, Dooham, and Zamet to claim that extra wing space. You've got Dooham and Zamet with a try each, and both played a good game. Watson's turn's going to be next week. Yeah. Who's joining? And I mean, I like that back 3 of Zamet, Adams, Hogg. I thought that was a good back 3. I know I want Dooham to
very well,
involved, but one of them's going to be on the bench. One of them's going to be starting. They're going to have a wing on the bench for sure at this rate.
Absolutely. Just another point. It's just a little bit biased, but I don't really care. I'm allowed to be biased at this one. As a Scottish fan, how good was it? How good were all the Scotland boys involved in that game? Xander Ferguson, I mean, he had back spasms last week. That looked worrying. It ruled Ross Murray out 4 years ago. So glad to see he actually got his go on the Lions tour. He came off the bench, did nothing wrong. Chris Harris actually had a quiet game and still did really well, which is frightening.
I think Chris Harris is 13 at this point.
Yep.
In tour.
Ali Price, whip at 9. That's what you're wanting. Nothing against Conor Murray or Gareth Davies. They all have.
Davies did get a try.
They did, but I think anyone could have scored that try. If you're picking out any of the tries in that game, I think anyone could have scored the try Gareth Davies scored. That
is true. And one your tries if anyone scored. What's it called? The cross kick from Finn Russell. I reckon only Adams would have scored that because you saw how close he was to touchline. Adams' speciality is that cross kick catch try.
Yeah, because Biggs does it all the time.
It's Biggs' thing. So, and Dooham wouldn't have caught that. He's not that type of player.
No, he's more from
exactly.
Deep. To be fair to the Signal Lions, the 2 tries that they did get were beautiful. The first one was well teamwork. Hamish Watson did have the guy. I was just tracking. He couldn't get to him in time, so that's very unfortunate. But their second try from Rabs Maxwani. Oh my God, that's beautiful. I've never seen so much pace. So it was kind of controversial that apparently they switched, but they done it from behind. I don't care.
I personally did. That wasn't a standout to me of a poor decision.
No, but I was happy overall. Sean, you said you were very pleased with Josh Adams. I heard, I didn't get the names, but I heard the Irish pundits specifically were not happy with Finn Russell. Do you care to share how you thought Finn did?
I thought he played well. I thought he was fine, but he didn't do... I think when we watch Finn, we expect him to be fit. That's the reason he's on the tour, is to be Maverick Finn.
Yep.
And he wasn't, and he tried it and nearly cost us a try when he just threw a pass on trial. And Gatlin will slate him for that. He might have... I honestly believe he could have lost his test spot purely because of that pass. And I would have put it past Gatlin. Because Biggers set the mark for 10, and Finn did not meet that.
I think it's hard to compare though, because I'll ask what you think as well, Sean, about Finn Russell's performance.
Yeah, I thought he was good. Like I think he is behind Bigger after the way Bigger played last week, but I don't think he's too far off. And I think himself and Farrell as a 12 as an option there now. I don't think that would be a 10-12 partnership that they would go with in the test, but it's an option. Like, if injuries crop up, I thought they work well, like especially offset piece. Like I thought he did well,
I think the one bonus of having Finn at 10 with Owen Farrell at 12, obviously Finn's a very free play kind of sort of 10. He is quite good off the tee, but he doesn't do it at Racing. He only started doing it for Scotland now because Greg Laidlaw retired.
And he's not been that.
He's not been the best off the tee, but that's again because he doesn't do it as often.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things. So I think letting Farrell kick, or even if what we discussed, have Finn and Bigger playing.
I want to see that so badly.
Have Bigger or Farrell on kicking duty off the tee, and just let Finn be Finn. And I feel like that did actually work for the most part. But yeah, if Conor Murray goes down injured or whatever, Stuart Hogg is captain, without a doubt. His leadership.
I will take it back. My last week comments of 15 not be. It worked. Against South Africa is a different story because of how the rucks are going to be so important.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't start Murray. I think Ali Price or Gareth Davis both played good games. I still wouldn't start Murray, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
we'll start. Murray Anderson will start, not Conor Murray.
Yeah.
At nine. Oh, no.
Yeah, why not? We laugh.
Just while we were talking about Ali Price there, one just thing I noticed I think it was the first Josh Adams try where it was off the line out and then he went through the middle or whatever. So they went off the line out. Hamish Watson, he took it right. He actually took it off the line out. And Ali Price was standing as a first receiver more so. And I think it was that he gave it back inside then to Josh Adams. It was just kind of interesting. It was interesting how they just used Ali Price, stood him out wider, to kind of stretch that defense, and then the inside ball back inside to Adams. So it was just interesting to see. And in fairness, Price, he played well.
Yeah,
agreed. One thing I have noticed, not from this game specifically, just obviously like you go on like Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or that, and you see like little clips from training from the Lions, and they've been doing line-out jumpers, but Hamish Watson is the jumper, which is frightening. I did not know he had that in him.
I wonder if it's just because South Africa don't think they'll do it. I wonder if it's the fact of you don't reckon this is going to go up because he's too small.
He's the same size.
Quotation marks for our Spotify and our podcast.
Yeah, too small.
Too small. But
same height as Thea Khaleesi, but too small. Yeah.
He just looks small, doesn't he? I think it's just how he's built. He just looks small on telly.
They all look small on telly.
Wait, sorry, on small plays, did any of you see the Canadian scrum half?
No.
He's like 5'6". He was so small. He was stood next to the big number 8, who I think's like of Pacific Island heritage for Canada. And it was just like, this is the funniest thing I've watched ever.
Speaking of like height difference, just quickly before I go back into the Lions, Cam Dalton, the number 8 for USA, scored a charge down today off Harry Randall.
Yes.
I thought he was just going to run through him. I actually was like praying for Harry Randall and just get out of there because he's going to hurt you. Back to the Lions. Just one more thing before we get into referee talk and the question. I really enjoyed Elliot Daly coming off the bench. He makes sense coming off the bench as a centre. That's his best position. He found passes. He linked well with Hogg. He found that big looping pass for Adams's 4th, I think it was. He found.
Yeah, the bit when he just chucked it out wide. I said at the start of this tour, Elliot Daly is the right player to be in there because he can cover positions and Gatland will coach him correctly. Full stop. Done.
Right, lads. We did it last week. We actually did all right last week with the squads. So again, we have the Sharks for Wednesday and we have the Bulls on Saturday. So we'll do 2 squads. We'll do it like Sean, Simi and me, and then me, Simi and Sean.
Oh God! Right. Okay.
Right.
Why are we doing 2 squads? Oh, for the 2 games.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't watch. I'm refereeing when the Sharks are on, so I'm going to have to just catch up on that.
Right. So, Sean, your team
I might do the timer again.
Yeah, can I just ask the question because I'm actually not too sure. Who hasn't played yet? Just so I know who hasn't played yet. Who hasn't started?
Mako Kaundiki.
Played or started?
It's got to be started.
Yeah, started. Who hasn't started?
Just make a team and hope for the best.
Yeah,
Okay,
just go.
fine.
I mean, Josh Adams started 2 for 2, so it doesn't matter anymore.
Josh Adams, put him in bubble wrap and don't let him play till South Africa now. Right. Sean, in 3, 2, 1, go.
Wyn Jones, we give Kaundiki a start. Sinclair, did Sinclair play the weekend? I don't know.
He did, but I'm still good with that.
Yeah. Johnny Hill, and we give Itoje another start. Simmons, Navidi.
Yep.
And ground blank here. Faletau. Sorry.
Okay.
We'll give Gareth Davies a start. 10 to play Farrell at 10. 12 Henshaw if he recovers, but he's probably injured. No, so Henshaw, no, he won't be fit. 12, sure we'll play Bundyaki and Harris again.
Okay.
Watson, Williams, and Reece Ammett.
You picked Williams.
Yeah,
That's fine. That's fine.
There you go. It's fine.
Right.
Murray.
So then, it's me.
I'll go.
Okay.
Right. Count me in.
3, 2, 1, go.
Mako, Kaundiki, Ferguson, Adam Beard, and let's go with Itoje. Back row, Navidi, Curry, Simmons. What a back row. Davis, Farrell, centres, Aki, Daly, and the back three I will go with. I want to see this. I want Watson, Zammit, and Williams this week. Yeah. Bear with me, right? And Hogg to cover 22 or 23. Because Hogg can play loads of positions. You got to. I did say Daly, didn't I?
Yeah.
Daly at 13. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Yeah, I got that right there. Murray.
Right.
3, 2, 1, go.
Mako, Luke Cowan-Dickey, Tyke Furlong, Ian Henderson, Courtney Laws, Jack Conan, Tom Curry, Sam Simmons, Gareth Davis, Owen Farrell, Bundyaki, Elliot Daly, Duhan van der Merwe, Anthony Watson, Liam Williams.
Oh, you picked Williams as well. There you go.
I
thought you had to pick. You had to pick like Beard and Ferguson because they haven't started yet.
Don't have to. Josh Adams played 2 from 2, so
fair, right? And then the Bulls game. So that's just Bulls is pick whoever you like.
Yeah, because they've all played essentially.
Yeah, they've all played then. So Bulls is what you want. Who's starting this? I think Murray, you're ready to go.
I'm ready.
3,
I think
2, 1, go.
Sutherland, Ken Owens, Tyke Furlong, Mara Itoje. I'll go Adam Baird. I'll give him a start. Josh Navidi, Hamish Watson, Tulipi Faletau, Connor Murray, Dan Biggar. I think Henshaw will be fit by then. Chris Harris. We'll go for Lewis Rees-Zammit on one wing. I'll give Duhan another start. Stuart Hogg at the back.
Yeah, I like that. Sean?
Yeah, okay, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Sutherland, Jamie George, Ty Furlong, Baird, and go Johnny Hill again. Simmons, Watson, Faletau, Murray, Biggar, Aki, Harris, Daly on the left wing, Hogg at full back, and Rees-Zammit on the other wing.
There we go.
Simeon. 3.
You want to count me in?
2. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, go.
Wyn Jones, Ken, Furlong, Henderson and Hill. Back row, let's go with Courtney, Tyke Burn back, Watson, Faletau, Connor Murray, got to get him in there. Biggs, if fit, Henshaw, if not Aki, then Harris. Back row. I want to see this. I want to see Durham, Williams, and Hogg.
Oh, okay.
Makes up for the lack of high ball and Durham.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. I can't believe I just agreed to Liam Williams. It's fine. It's fine. It's cool. Can I just add before we get to questions the
refereeing,
and refereeing? Yeah, sorry.
Sevens.
Oh, sevens. Sorry. Big news from the sevens. The Fijian team has announced their Olympic squad. I don't know a whole lot about sevens, but Semi Randrandra's there. They're going to win, yeah. Semi Randrandra's there. Sean, you're the seven specialist.
Yeah, no, Fiji's team is pretty good. Like Radradra at the weekend, he played in the local sevens tournament in the UK Super 7 series. Yeah,
I seen that. Good luck to whoever rocked up on that. Oh, we'll get Semi Randrandra on our team. Very good.
Imagine him playing against him. Jeez.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, in the Fiji Olympic squad, they named some big, the big usual names, Darren Lange, Faku Inabili, Batitu Tuimamba, and then obviously Radradra is included. But two notable omissions. Tuisova, who was not going to be in the squad. Well, no, he was vying for the squad. He didn't make it. And Naduva, Aliso Naduva, also known as Mr. Nitro, he missed out in the squad. He's quick. He is very quick. I was shocked to see him. USA also announced their squad. It's the usual on the men's side, except one fella I expected to see, Cody Melfi. I don't know if you know him. He's on TikTok. He has like 600,000 followers.
Yes, thought he's great. I follow him on TikTok. He's not in.
No, he's not in, unfortunately. And then the last thing on sevens was, I don't know if you saw in the Oceania sevens, obviously Fiji won it, but on the women's side, I think it was the Oceania sevens, Ruby 2i, who plays for the All Blacks women's side or whatever, she got a knee in the face and there was blood poured off from her face. It was a clip, went viral on the weekend. And I think she kept playing later on that day, so no bother to her. So
fair play. I've actually got a bit of sevens news that you didn't mention that I'm surprised at. So, All Black winger Caleb Clark, who went from sevens to 15s, went back to sevens to chase the Olympic dream, didn't get picked for the squad.
He's actually he's a travelling reserve though. I was shocked when I didn't see his name as well. He's actually reserve though, so he will be going to
reserve. So that's fine.
Yeah,
that is nuts. That is nuts.
Yeah, but yeah.
Simeon, any refereeing talking points from this weekend?
Yes, we have 3, 2 international, 1 myself. So we'll start with the Lions game. We don't have any clips or pictures for you this week because they either happened today or they were so minor they're not going to be in highlights, and we don't have Sky Sport to go and find them. So one, you might have seen a TMO check for Sam Simmons lifting someone up in a ruck, dropping them on their shoulder. Now, at the time, there was a bit of debate at Philly Rugby Club between a penalty and yellow. I was calling for penalty and was correct. I was calling for yellow. Why it wasn't a yellow is, yes, he went above the horizontal. Yes, he landed on the shoulder. No force in it. He put him down pretty safely, which is the whole, if you lift a player off their feet, you put him down safely. He did it it was safe enough that it was only a penalty. Nothing more. There was no degree of force in it. It was a correct decision. On that, I thought I don't know who the referee was, but the officiating of that game and the Wales game was very good, actually. I thought, I am Facebook friends with a Georgian ref from the Wales game, and I did say, I messaged him after and said he had a fantastic game, which before he did, I thought, watching on the pitch, he was spot on. He was spot on all game. The biggest talking point is the USA against England. Now, chaps, you might have seen it, but
I've seen it.
What happened is one of the England players, the England fullback, jumped up to catch the ball.
Yep.
Caught it. The USA player mildly comes off the ground as well, but he's running at him and jumps into him, not jumps for the ball, and takes him straight out, legs in the air, and he lands. In that situation, if your hands touch the ground first, they don't count because that's a self-protection unit. You can't, that's just natural body instinct. So the first point of contact's on your main body, not your limbs. That's how they would officiate it. The England fullback landed straight on his face, and it was only given a penalty. Now, I watched it.
It wasn't given a penalty. It was
play on. Now,
USA ball. because the USA player tipped it back.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, he did kill Freddie Stewart, but yeah.
I watched it. On live, I went yellow card, and then you resent me the clip.
Yes.
And it was direct head contact. And in my opinion, he never went for that ball. He just jumped into him at force, and he landed directly on his face. My opinion, that was a red card offence. And how the laws are ref, if you hit head contact, that was a direct red card, in my opinion. But Murray, what do you think? You saw it. Sean, if you saw it as well, what do you think?
I didn't see it. Can't comment.
I did see it, and again, it's like it zooms out. It's live action at normal speed. I was like, "There's nothing in that." They both went for the ball. Stuff like that happens, but then you see it, and like you said, he ran straight into Freddie Stewart. Freddie Stewart then landed. He didn't even have his hands up. He landed like square on his face. And the referee, I think it was Andrew Brace, actually.
Andrew Brace, formerly of Cardiff, now Ireland.
He refereed it. He looked at the TMO and then said, "Oh, the ball came off the American player, and I think they already had the advantage from something else, and they played on." And I went, "Oh, we'll just go back," and it was an American ball. I'm like, "Right, so that's not even a penalty."
Yeah, I know.
It was like nothing happened. That like they clashed. He just happened to land on his face. USA had the ball. There was an advantage to USA anyway, so we'll just go back. I'm like, no, I'm not a ref. Like I say this all the time. I'm not a referee, but that's a red card.
And I always like to say, if I was riffing that and I saw that when I was reffing, no TMO or anything, obviously it'd be all about the angle. If I was from behind, I'd probably give that a yellow. Yeah. If I saw that in front where he hits his head, I'd give that a red. It's a hard one. I don't understand it, but we move on. Will be very interesting to see if there's a disciplinary report from the World Rugby on that one. We'll have to see. Now, my last one is we cover my games. We had one yellow card, 2 games this weekend, 1 yellow card. Caerphilly Youth against Penalty Youth. Fantastic game. Great atmosphere back down at Caerphilly. Really fun, really high scoring. Again, it was something like 71-38, I think the final score was. Ridiculously high. I'm having some great games like this at the moment. I ran 6.5K in an hour.
Oh wow!
You need to stop that. That can't be. That can't be good for you.
It was like 20 degrees as well. It was boiling.
Oh my!
It was not fun. But we had a yellow card, and if he is listening, Adam McIntyre, I'm not sorry. You deserved your yellow. Former teammate of mine I used to play with. Basically, what happened was player got tackled, was coming down slowly from another player, and my mate, he just came straight in. Not much of an attempt of a wrap, never going low, and whacked him straight in the head, shoulder and head. The reason it wasn't a red was the other tackler had brought the other player down enough to bring it down to a yellow card. It was, some people a bit controversial about it. I had a really good view of it, really good angle. And something you just call referee instinct, what you feel in your gut. And I just saw that. And it was at such high speed and force. I just went, it's a yellow. I saw the play, it was just, that's the yellow. So lads, keep your tackles down. It was a bit of an unfortunate one, but keep your tackles down, please. So I don't have to give any more yellow cards. But to finish, Murray, you have a question for us.
Yes. Just before we go into the question, I had a team meeting last week at my club at Howe Fife, and pre-season starts on the 15th of July. We have games for August for pre-season, and then the league starts in September. And you're not.
I've already been asked to referee games in August in Scotland, and I just messaged him going, "Not there yet."
Not there. Not Murray's not ready for that yet.
I haven't seen. Honestly, if I see Howe Fife, I might just get a plane up, just be like, yeah, I'll ref a game. I'll go find Murray.
I'm so not ready for that. I don't pay attention to who the referee is until it's kick off. So if I'm just dawdling about and then
And then you just see a beautiful blonde come onto the pitch.
Then peroxide, like, it's Murray. I'm like, no, go away.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So questions are we got 2 questions this week. They both had the same amount of likes, so fair's fair. I'm not going to be.
They kind of come in together.
Yeah, they come together. So the main one is from Matty Boy 298. How do you think all Six Nation teams will do in the World Cup? And I got a question from UK Galaxy. Do Scotland have a chance at the Rugby World Cup? So that kind of goes hand in hand. So Sean, we'll start with you. Your predictions for the Six Nations teams for the World Cup, even though we're still 2 years out.
Yeah, I like looking forward to the World Cup. 2 years away yet, but you never know. So I think Italy, obviously, they're not going to make it out of their group. Unfortunately, they have France, New Zealand in their group. England, they're going to make it to. I'm going to say England are going to go to the semis. I'm going to say. It depends who they play in the quarters, but I'm going to say they're going to make it to the semis. Scotland, unfortunately, are not going to make it out of their group. I'm sorry, Murray.
Sure you. You know what's coming.
In fairness, it's a tough group though. South Africa and Ireland. So, but you never know. You could knock either of us out as well. You wouldn't know. Like if Scotland are playing the way they played this year, they're a bit of a dark horse, I think. Who am I? Wales. Wales. I think Wales are going to go semi. I think quarter or semi. Yeah, I think in that group, I would also like to see Fiji either knock Wales or Australia out and get to at least the quarterfinals. But I'm going to keep Wales safe just for this one, Simeon.
Thank you.
Right, Simeon.
Oh wait, I didn't do it earlier.
Oh no, France. Sorry,
France. I'm going to say France are going to win the World Cup. They're going to get to the final, I think. But I'm also going to go on a limb here. Ireland are going to make it to the semi-finals, so that means Ireland can beat the All Blacks. Yeah, I think so. I think on current form, I think obviously Ireland aren't going to make it to the semi-finals on current form. But I think 2 years on our day for playing very, very well. But it is a World Cup though, so we'll probably play terrible. But I'm being optimistic here. Ireland will make the semis.
Fair enough. Simeon, how about you?
Right, let's go with. Well, still beloved Wales. I want to say obviously they'll make the final. They'll make the semis. If they're like, I have a lot of hope because of the way they played against Canada and they've got such depth. So I'm going to say they're going to get to the semis and the finals on what I've seen this weekend in depth and bias. France, final, semi-final, final. Italy. They're in a good place, especially the under-20s, but I just don't think this one. I think the World Cup after, maybe we'll see them get there, but not this one. Okay. Who else are we going with? Right, I'll touch. I feel mean now because I've got to talk about Scotland and Ireland, and I'm going to offend one of you. On current form, and I know Ireland beat them.
Bye, Sean.
But I have to go with my new adopted nation as I finally got into Ed. Scotland's going through and Ireland. I'd like Ireland to go through as well. I want right. I'll go Scotland and Ireland for the quarters. There we go. I'll please you both. South Africa, you can go away. Scotland and Ireland for the quarters. There we go.
That's a nice.
And England. I forgot about them. After today, they might get out the groups. In all seriousness, they'll get to the quarters. They'll get to the quarters and get kicked out in the quarters. That's where I'm going. And Murray.
Italy. Sadly, they're not getting that group. It's a tough group for like competitive countries as well. And Italy just aren't there yet, like someone said. I'd like to think that they are. They've got a new coach in, especially with Treviso winning the Pro 14. That might help going forward, but again, not yet. Italy group stage, I think England are going to easily get to the semis, at least. They always get a very easy run in until the semis.
2015.
Well, we don't discuss that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, why not, Murray? Come on.
Yeah, why not? You betrayed us.
Yeah, he's actually English.
No, definitely not.
RFU, did I hear?
No, so I think that looking at the groups, England's going to get they've got a very easy group for England standards. I'm not basing anything off today because they'll all be back and everything. So I think England will get the semi-finals. I think Wales at best will get the quarterfinals. I'm being deadly honest there. I don't see Wales going very far in that tournament after the group stage at all. I think they'll get a shocker against, like, I don't know, maybe Argentina, maybe New Zealand. You don't know. Maybe South Africa. They might. You'll play a good game, but I think you'll either get found out, and whoever it is will hurt you for it, or it'll be like a last gasp kick, or either way. Like, do you know what I mean?
All Wales will be Wales, and someone pull it out the bag.
Yeah. So there's three options there.
Someone will get red cards, and then everyone say Wales is shit, but they only win because of red cards.
Yes, because that's how you won the Six Nations. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely. Not because the other teams couldn't keep their discipline.
It's not because Scotland helped you either, but it's fine. It's fine. Ireland. I actually can see South Africa just not showing up for this World Cup. I know that they're world champions. People are going to think that I'm talking out my arse. I'm not. This happened before. They won it in 2007 and then bombed out in 2011.
Yeah.
And then 2015. Like, I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all in World Cup cycles, and like this squad that they've got now, most of them will not be there in 2023.
They're an old team.
They are an old team. Not saying the youngsters that they've got are bad, but the experience, kind of like Italy, not on a bigger scale anyway.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at their key club in South Africa, the Bulls. They lost to Treviso, didn't they?
Yeah,
that's the future of South Africa, and they lost to Italy, the Italian upcoming.
There you go. So, I can honestly see Scotland and Ireland going through. I think, obviously, it depends on like who wins out of that game would top it. I think Scotland are in a big advantage because they've got South Africa first. So if you get out of the way and pull off a great win, it's sort
clean
of easier.
Sailing.
Oh, maybe not clean sailing because Ireland do tend to have our number, but yeah, I mean, obviously, I think I discussed this with you like on like episode 1 when we were just rambling. Scotland have never beaten New Zealand in their history. Perfect time would be a World Cup final. It's not going to happen. I'm not saying they're going to the final.
It's going to happen now.
I can see Scotland making it out of the group. Maybe push for a semi-final. I don't want to be too optimistic. I'll say quarterfinals. We tend to, apart from 2019 and 2011, we do get out of the group fairly regularly. So, yeah, we'll say quarterfinals. We'll say quarterfinals just to be safe. And Ireland have a bad history with World Cup, so quarterfinals is as far as they'll get as well. So, there we go.
Murray, just quickly on the quarterfinals, I was just going to say, you know that our group, you know that the top two teams in our group are going to play either New Zealand or France in the quarterfinals.
I mean, Scotland's beat France anyway. So, New Zealand in the quarterfinals then. There we go. History very early on.
Yeah.
Optimistic.
Of course, Scotland or Ireland get linked with New Zealand in the quarters, and England get like Fiji. Do you know what I mean? It's always the same.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but great questions. I love the fact that it was about a World Cup and not. It's not that I'm not enjoying the Lions tour. I love it, but
just a bit of a change of view. Bit of a change of view.
Next week, Simeon, you're not with us next week, are you?
I'm on holiday.
You're on holiday.
I'm in Northern Ireland.
So it's just going to be me and Sean. We'll try our best to hold down the fort while referees away.
I'll try and if there's referee decisions, I'll make a video the night before and I'll send them in just so you got a little referee analysis if there is one.
Can I not just act referee and just absolutely throw all the rules out the window and make it up as I go along?
What are rules? Rules in rugby. It's the laws.
Oh, it's the laws. I forgot you were weird about this.
Every rugby referee is Murray. Did you not know that? Every rugby referee insists that you say laws, okay?
It's
You're
the
not
law.
right.
It's called
Right,
the
you're
law
not.
book. It's not the rules.
It is a rule book. You follow the laws in a rule book.
No, it's called a law book.
It is
The
actually
rugby
the
law book.
Yeah, it is actually the law book.
I don't have mine to hand. I would get it up, but I don't have it to hand.
I'm just saying that you're not refereeing one of my games. I can't be bothered. I don't want. I'm not playing the game you're up.
Can't handle the stress.
Because he'll just mention it on the following episode as well. Like, oh, there was a yellow card. Murray did a stupid mitigation, didn't release, or high tackle, or something like that. And I'm just going to sit there like, no, I didn't.
Murray just won't come on the week after.
Nah, absolutely not. You can have whoever you want on that week. But no, we've got some exciting stuff planned. I've put out, I'm not dropping names in this to give anyone hope, but I'll tell you that when we stop recording. I've dropped some messages to some interesting people in the rugby world. Hopefully they come on as a guest. We have got a guest confirmed, but it's not till August. But it's a big one for our TikTok fans. There you go, that's all I'm saying on that one.
Get guessing, guys, get guessing.
I don't think it would take a lot for them to guess, to be honest. It'd be like the first guest. Is it this one?
Yeah. We're not telling you. We'll take a completely different story, different storyline.
Yeah.
So Simeon's away next week. He's away to Northern Ireland. He's away having fun there, shall we say?
Yep. No Colin.
Enough said.
So me and Sean are next week. It'll be fun. We could do a squad. We get to do the squads for the game that's on my birthday, because the Lions play South Africa on the 4th of July.
Which I can't watch because I'm in Belfast International Airport. Yay.
Watch it on your phone like a normal person.
I don't have Sky because I'm poor.
I'll give you my Now TV login, or Sean will be nice and do it for his. There you go. It's not hard.
Nice one, lads.
I mean, I've basically just committed fraud on YouTube, but it's fine.
That's right. It's fine.
But yeah, that's all we have time for today. And thank you to everyone for listening or watching us. This has been episode 5 of the Rugby Connection podcast. Me and Sean will see you next week. Simeon will hopefully be here the following week.
Yep. Yeah, I will be.
Yeah, there you go. And as always, guys, thanks for listening.
Cheers, chaps.
Thanks a lot, lads. See you.